Wow. Question. If that light is so bright, then why is it only certain parts of that cloud that it's shining through and not other parts? And what's the deal with those patterns, those regular patterns? And what are those noises? Look up there, and it looks like is that so bright? summer's been complicated. So in a minute, look at our summer's the capstone there. Have a look there and see what you see. I've been doing this for years. And when I say this, I mean I know how to adjust photographs. I know how to adjust. I know how to make adjustments, basically. It's one of my specialties. You can only work with what you have, but sometimes it's not always. It's just got to be the best of what you can get. You know? Look at that, spaceship enterprise. Starship enterprise right there. What type of deal going on? Look at that. Let's see if we can see here. So here am I. View a little bit. I'm just going to turn it down. So you may have just noticed what I've done there. This odd little cloud, this wispy thing, just going in, just passing by the top. Pulled the gamma right down, just so you could see, but get a hint. This is what I mean. This is a cloaked ship. And it's, whoa. Okay. I just managed to get a big old glimpse of it. Oh, here's another one. Oh, there it is. I think I get it now. Wow. That's one big birdie. Where am I? Where am I? Oh, here we go, Lee. It's one big birdie. This thing coming in here. Look, here. Round here, look. And then there's more of it here. Sorry. I have to make marks initially. And look here. Oh my goodness. The veil is lifting after all. Sorry, I'm raising my voice because I forgot that I put my microphone on. It's building time. So we're going to have some rather large ships coming in as this thing here. Where are you? Okay, like here, right? A wing here. A wing there. And then you've got this. And it's turning around. So that was this is the head. And then you've got the thing, that's another wing going up there. Right? And then you've got this here. And watch it turn. So this bit will come forward. That noise is the thrusters. Oh my god, what's happened to me? I'm sorry about that, that's not the best drawing in the world, but it's basically, there's a... Oh look, what's that here? This bit. No wonder it doesn't make any sense. And you can't see half of it. Because only part of it's visible. It's only a disguise. It's not a full-on cloak, you know? It's not invisible. It's and the wing up there. It's fucking massive. Remember that. Which way is it going? I can't. Turning that away. So I ended up having to make marks in order to find where my pen point is. There it is. Because it doesn't, for some reason, this stupid Illustrator software is only quite basic. I'm not going to be insulting to it. I am really appreciative of it. You'll notice these bits here now. They all start to. It's a platform. It's moving down. thrusters. Look, space jet thingy. Oh my god, I can see more than I ever thought before. Oh, wow. And this is some kind of energy being, maybe, on a throne. Some kind of thing here. Or it might actually be just them on like a electronics console, and it is literally flying around, and they are literally turning that way. Hello, birdies. See, so if there's a white, oh my goodness, right. I understand now. The reason there's like a white outline over these things, like the birds and stuff, is because the sharpness is increased, and that creates the effect of things having a bit more of an outline, a bit more defined shape. And that's now what I've worked out. It's not as bad as as how iGlasses renders that one, but I think I'm preferring to use CamTwist now. That's a thruster. Look at that. That is what that is. This. Yeah, I can see you. I can fucking see you. I mean, come on, it's not that difficult. These guys in particular, their stuff's only partial by the looks of it. It doesn't seem to mask everything entirely. Oh my goodness, look at that, floating cities. Floating cities! If you wanted to know if floating cities really exist, well now you know. Look at that. Look at the size of it. It's so freaking big, it has its own atmosphere. Look at that! Look at that! And it's not fading away, it's not disappearing, it's just there. The city flying by, you know, just as if it's normal. Yeah, not bad news. Yeah, just a little banana flying by. Don't mind us. They don't care. They don't care now. They're not going to be. I don't think they're going to be trying to hide themselves so much at this point. Judging by the way that from my conversations with a few people yesterday, a lot of the stuff about ancient aliens and the Anunnaki and stuff like that has been doing the rounds for quite some time by this point. So, you know, if it does strike if it's true, and it does strike surprising people, well, they're just ignorant at this point, and that's not an excuse anymore. Because the internet's been around for, what, 30 years now? That's enough time for most people who are alive at this point to have learnt technology that we have and how to access the internet to find this information out, if they weren't already being exposed to it by television. So, it's not about, how can you be, it can't be misleading. It's not creating a false thing. Yes, there's a general premise. We've got to look at the facts that a race of beings that we are unaware of had some hand in something or other. We don't know where they came from or how they got here. So, you know, our concepts of space don't make any sense, and yet there are the possibilities of beings from other places. So we've just got to take the fact, the stuff that we can surmise from all of the things we know, and many of us have come to similar conclusions. The rest of the stuff, the debatable stuff, that has to go to one side, because there are elements there's too many kind of cross-referenced elements. When you see enough of it, you know it to be true. When you see something that's pretty kind of not so supported by more than one perspective, then you've got to consider how true it is. And obviously, we all have our own truths on top of that. So, yeah, I'm delving into a bit of the Argus. The Argus is a website of a local newspaper in the UK. There's a few branches of them across the south coast. And I just stumbled upon it while I was doing some research on Worthing. And why Worthing? Hastings. Maybe I could ask people around if they would consider what they would do in the event of a tsunami. I mean, I know the likelihood of a tsunami in Worthing is lower than places further out into the Atlantic, but we have no idea of the scale of the scope. Calamity. Ooh, what a calamity. So, hello plane. Are you really a plane, or are you not really a plane? My instinct there was that was actually a plane. I can feel the vibration from here. Goodness me, you don't see so many legitimate planes these days. That's for sure. But I imagine with all the natural disasters that are happening at the moment, that travel is being restricted in quite a few areas, quite a few places. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just, this is off the top of my head. You know, if there's a natural disaster happening in an environment, would you assume then that it would probably be restricted, or would you still have flights going in and out of there? I guess it would depend how badly look at this thing here, this little eye thing. Oh, look, it's kind of like that. Oh shit! I'm still not used to it. There you go. Now that is attached to some structure here. Oh, here we go. Some square bits. Oh, for God's sake. I can't draw properly today. I've got to get used to this pen. This pen malarkey. Look at that. I mean, you've got that. I'm sorry, these are really rough sketches. You'll have to forgive me, but as an artist, I'm much more interested in form at this point. And the reason I'm interested in the form is because that will actually, it's kind of helpful in dictating what exactly these structures are. Oh God. Let's just hope that my form isn't overly affected. Just trying to get a sense of the shape and scale of this thing, so I could then keep an eye on its movements. What will happen is, if I do this enough times, I eventually start to see it. I eventually get to know its movements. I get to know textures, angles, that kind of thing. And before you know it, you then start recognizing shapes and things, which you then go, okay. And then, you know, sometimes these shapes actually inform other things that you're seeing too, because you suddenly realize that there's this empire of beings with all this giant technology. It's amazing. Every time I draw stuff, I look at it and I can always see a face in it. Like birds and all kinds of things. And I start seeing faces in my sketches. But look, I mean, come on, look at this. This thing here, it's coming down. Look at it. What is that? Another one here. You hear those noises. You'll hear those frustery noises. You know the. Seriously, at this. I mean, that's the thing. If it gets too full up, then you end up losing scope of what you were actually drawing in the first place. Hey eyes. Yeah, I can see you. Now I've got a few things I need to do today, work-wise. When I say work, you know what I mean. Look at that eye. Look at that. There's a nose, like a flat nose. Where am I? Right, there we go. Flat nose. Going up there, and then this eye thing here. But obviously it's not a being. And now you've got this thing here. Looks more like a bull now. It's like a set of terraced platforms. They're kind of like giant stairways. Oh, but now I'm seeing other things as well. They are really trying to play with me. Come on, guys. You know, you should stop trying. Stop trying to obfuscate. You know as well as I do it's time. For a long time. My subconscious can predict the future. It's not actually me that can do very much, it's my subconscious that seems to be able to do it. So being in touch with my subconscious seems to be a necessity. I hope you can see these flying islands as much as I can. Thing is, people won't. I don't know. Maybe I am going fucking mad. But I've never seen a plane fly through them. They only fly through certain kinds of clouds, you know. It's only on certain times. So, oh look, here's a plane now. What is that? Oh, there, that was my drawing. Did you just narrow your eye at me? Thanks. Steampunk era is real. There is a reason it exists in the public consciousness and the minds of artists. It's just that. It's just that a steampunk, I think, might be a scale thing. So you have to have really pretty large things, a large mechanism that relies on an immense amount of steam for it to move. Which, if you are giants and the things you're using are, you know, based on that scale, it might work. But see, this is another thing that's coming in now. You can see that there's like a fine type of veil, you know, a slightly luminescent field around it. And then you look there at the detail as well. Look at that detail. That cross-hatching kind of thing there. That to me looks like some kind of wreckage or something else, but then I'm not entirely sure what bits are real and which bits are not, because then I see other aspects. A lot of the time these things are projecting holographic images around them. If it's not holographic, then I don't know, maybe it's magic. Who knows? It's magic. Magic. I don't know. Sometimes if we use the words of some of the old traditions, I feel more comfortable with the old traditions than I do with some of the new science. and the modern traditional science. Oh look! Oh my goodness! Look at this. Anunnaki or what, man? You can just see it there. I've just literally, this is it's this thing here. This thing. Keep an eye on this. It's a selection of terraced, like I don't know what it's like. Look, these are the beings. Those two, that one and that one. Mr. Happy and Mr. Happy. Now you've got these other ones here as well. Look at that. Well, they're either beings or they're steps. I'm not too sure, but they seem to move. Look at that. It's like a tower coming down. Space elevator. Maybe. I don't know. I've seen this thing before though. Let me clear that because the last thing I really want to do is draw all over it. Look at that. Look how big it is. Something is odd. The size of these things is humongous. The proportions are almost like a step out of what we're used to, which then I have to consider, well, hang on a minute, well, what if their proportions are correct, but actually it's us that are a step out? You know, what if it's us that are a little bit smaller than we're supposed to be? You know, I can't imagine having physical strength would be of benefit to the Anunnaki or any other beings at this point, especially if they feed on our etheric energy. Now, I'm not sure if you can call the Anunnaki the Archons. I'm not sure if they are the same beings or if they're different beings. Look at this. Some very stunning images. Stunning. Very dramatic. Almost looks like a hand or something, but I don't think it is. It's interesting, isn't it, how they look like eyes, and I think the reason why is because it's just different aspects of their machinery in illumination, and it's designed through symbology to illuminate and show this kind of eye concept. So then it will look like a floating fucking eye. And I wouldn't be a great professor, would I? I'm going to do a PhD in clouds. I haven't even got a degree, mate. 5 attempts. 5 attempts. Couldn't do it. Struggled my ass off. My brain just isn't made for it. It just doesn't, it's just not the way it works. I'm an art student. I work visually, I work with images, I work with shapes and lines and things like that. Words, numbers don't make much. Words make more sense to me than numbers do, because words describe what things look like. And if words describe what things look like, then I can visualize, you know, but maths does not describe what something looks like. It only entails the measurements of the dimensions of any given shape. I'm going to pull back on the gamma for a little bit, brighten it up a little bit, and I think put my contrast back up to 4. So here you can kind of see a slight displacement. Okay, so there's the background and then you've got the foreground moving, and as it's doing so, it's inverting colour of objects, and so then you're getting like difference, you know, and that difference looks odd because it looks like it's at odds with the background. Sometimes it fits perfectly and if it didn't move, you wouldn't notice it. But because it's moving, the light is bouncing off it in lots of different angles, and therefore showing movement. So then I could put on, say, the concert filter, and that would even highlight, because it captures the light and brightens it up and leaves a trail. That actually is an innovative way of doing it. If you don't mind me saying so myself. You know, think about it. I've used a very simple effect from one of these app things, these third-party webcam apps, and I've turned it into a light detection device, which then shows me, you know, so it makes it a bit easier. You can see it. You can see this thing gradually sliding across the screen. It's just above the main tree now. It's coming up behind it. It's coming from the right and going to the left. Now I'm going to leave you to look for that, because I'm not going to draw. Also on the top left, you've got a very definitive set of angular shapes going on there too. So it's a feast for the eyes this morning. If you are inclined to see what I see. Anyway, I'm going to have a cup of tea. Put the kettle on at least anyway. You can enjoy this lovely rendition of the Happy Birthday to You song, which has ended before I could even finish announcing it. Goodbye. Well, it's not goodbye, because you might still be able to hear me whilst I'm not in the background. But so is it me, or does soya milk leave this scum at the bottom of your cup afterwards?
Alright. Go and see her, yeah? Alright.
Why even know what I'm doing? The answer is no. That's okay. Okay, so unfortunately, I'm going to try and finish off the thing money today. I don't want to make a habit of doing it often, because otherwise it's too much of a commitment for me to do with my own work also, you know. So free-spirited. I don't like to be held down. I do not work well with authority. I am my own authority, and I don't need other people telling me what the fuck to do or trying to push their fucking ridiculous indoctrinated concepts and opinions on me. What a fucking blind. At this point, I think I can say that at this point, yes? At this point, I think I can say that people generally are blind. They can't even, they don't. We talk about eyesight. Well, you know what? Just because your focus is a little bit softer than somebody else's, really isn't that much of an issue. You know, it's not my focus that needs to worry about, it's the camera's focus. I wish I could afford to buy a brand new camera with you know. Well, I don't think web cameras are generally that great. I mean, really what I should do. Why is it warm here? Where is this warmth coming from? It's odd. It's very odd. I want UK Power Networks. Power cut. Call us. I want to look into what being a targeted individual means within the UK. I don't know how it manifests in the US. Well, I know these things happen across the world, but I think different countries have slightly different tactics and technologies available to them. Now, although it's highly likely that being in the Western world, we probably all of us are subject to pretty much the same technologies, I would imagine that both Britain and the US have reasons for not wanting to share certain types of technology with each other anyway. So I'm sure there are secrets on both sides, in both parties, that they're not going to be sharing with each other. Even if they are working together. Every country has its own secret thing. Every Western power does anyway. It's interesting. Maybe that was enough to do it. I've just noticed a bit of change, and I'm noticing that my bonsai tree is growing. It may take a long time, but I will stay with you, my bonsai tree. My little bonsai tree. And one day I hope to grow you so that you're well enough to be able to sit at an altar, that I'll have by a window or some kind of light source area. I don't know, maybe just in the middle of the room anyway. The light gets in where it's surrounded by light, for goodness sake. But I think it's the early beginnings of a bonsai growth, which I think is the crucial part, because not all of the seeds take. And I guess that's probably why you're given a few of them. There's 5 of them, I think. So, just in case, so there must be an average of a 1 in 5 chance of a bonsai actually growing per average. But I've just noticed something else that's started popping out of the same little thing that I've got. So I'm starting to think that maybe there's some other things happening in that pot. But whatever the case may be, I'm going to let it happen. I'm going to support its growth. mean, think about it. Chemtrails are not killing our crops. Or are they? I mean, we have more now than we have ever had before in the Western world. More people live in better conditions than ever before, as far as we know. There are some aspects of our society where we're making some real progress, and then there are other aspects where it's not so good. Just giving my plants a little morning drink. I think what I want to do is spray them little and often, rather than once a day or once every couple of days. I think it's better. That's what I want to do, really. See what happens, if there's a difference. But I've noticed that the leaves are beginning to get thinner now. Well, not thinner, but like, I don't know. I think that the autumnal die-off is beginning. It's because I mean it was actually really cold last night, and first time in ages actually. I have the window open, but anyway. So I've got to edit Lenny Time's thing because I'm going to be uploading that onto my channel, and he's asked me to upload it sooner rather than later because, you know, it's close to the time of happening. But I guess I could argue that as it's 9/11, right, it's a piece of evidence, you know. It's testimony, and what it is it's adding this. Is adding somebody's story of a situation to the history books, even if it's just a public domain internet space, whatever. You know? It's somebody's opinion being recorded, and it's a testimony. There's not enough of this kind of thing out there. And can you think of scientists or any alternative scientists who actually tend to go against the grain of mainstream that support certain things? If they had testimony that would testimony, a witness account, an eyewitness account. What else? I don't know. Oh, I think these sponges look at that. There's fantastically detailed images here. My issue is that my issue is that when I zoom in, I may be cutting things out, so that's the only issue. It might give you a sense of the kind of ghostery we're seeing around here. What are we seeing? It's a fucking flying mountain. You can see these little land bridges between them, you know? These little outcrops and all these kind of entanglements between them, like vines or something. In the background you can see these planetoid things It's almost like something out of Avatar. Then you've got all these, like this pearly white staircase shit going on. And, it's incredible. The number of different things happening at the same time, right here. It's like you're seeing a planet or a moon or whatever. Loads of them, in fact. Look at that. Look at that. You can't mistake this. You know? Maybe it's not exactly what people are looking for. But that's the thing. What are you expecting? What are your expectations here? Think about it. Because if you think that they're gonna look like something, you're just gonna see Saturn pop into the fucking sky, you know where that's come from, don't you? It comes from that crowd that do that whole what would it look like if the certain planet was in the sky type of thing, and then you get this poorly photoshopped picture. I mean, where someone has literally just taken an image of Saturn and slapped it right bang in the middle of the picture with no shading, no shadow, nothing. It's just like, I mean, that's pretty much what they did. Well, you're not going to see a full colour photograph of a fucking planet passing you by, are you? You know? You're not going to see it. The red planet and the blue planet. Red pill, blue pill. If this place was a space of illusion and deception, then it would make sense. I mean, the way I look at it, it's like Earth is blue Earth, the blue marble, blue skies, blue atmospheres, you know. Then you've got, look at this. Can you see this almost kind of slightly transparent thing there? It's almost Mayan or Aztec or something. An Aztec or Mayan crocodile, perhaps? I'm not sure. Oh, I can see eyes now and some scaly skin type textures going on. Almost as if they're the eyes of somebody watching me. Wink. Personally, I love our Anunnaki and slaver gods. If they were to turn around and actually change society for the better and abolish the slavery and the tyranny of labour and the tyranny of mankind's continuous hypocriticality, then I might forgive them. I mean, is it even my place to forgive them? Forgive them for what? We don't even know what they've done. We don't even know half the story. All we have is tidbits, interpretations. So, I don't know. I personally would prefer to hear the story from the horse's mouth with evidence to back it up, and actually be allowed the opportunity to find out the truth of things, or at least their truth. And make a decision for myself that way. But I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a shortage of humans wanting retribution, or refusing to understand, or in fact refusing to understand. Hang on, what? Yeah, refusing to understand, or in fact wanting to have anything to do with something that's challenging their own beliefs and perceptions. My personal view on that is too fucking bad. Better get used to it, because it will happen eventually. Oh, no. It's like a yacht. An elaborate set of, I don't know what to think of that really. I wish these black areas weren't in the way. Like, you know, the corner bit there and the window there. If they weren't, I mean, ideally I would love to have that area of the sky available to me as well, but it's just the best I can do. Notice there are kind of Merkaba-esque shapes beginning to form and merge as well. That's interesting, I find. It's not the first time. Righty. I'm trying to be very careful with my... I see, it's like having an ideal. It's like pouring, oh shit, condensed milk. In your, condensed milk. It's, you know, a bit thickly sanded milk, a bit richer and sweet too. I don't know I'm telling that to you, but anybody in the UK will at least know that. Anyone born for the noughties, anyway. Anyone born before 2000? Okay, I need a comfort break. That means a piss. So, I'll be back in a moment. You might even catch me singing to myself as I'm exiting the toilet or saying something else embarrassing. So, keep an eye out. Oh, what have we here? A giant blue cube square thing? Well, I never. Am I seeing things here? You can't get more fucking blatant than that, surely. Look at that. It's a cube. Oh. ARSD. Somebody's graffitied on a lorry or something. I can't quite work out what it says though. I think that's an S and an O, and I think that's an A-R. Arso. Oh, Arso. Okay, fair enough. A-R-S-O. Arso. Arso. I think that's what it's meant to be. Wow. What the fuck? Looks like he's just bought himself a new lorry or something. Atomic. What happened to the other truck? Oh my lordy, okay, shit. I've just seen it. I've just seen. Hello. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. 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 I can see it. I can see what I'm looking at. Oh, that is insane. I can see them. I can literally see them. So basically, it's this huge. It's like a huge platform or kind of. It's like a pyramid, but in the pyramid, there's room enough for them to sit in. And the pyramids themselves are just floating platforms for them to glide around in and observe. The beings themselves aren't as big as I thought they were. Oh, well, there's definitely the ones that I've been seeing, so I know what they were, but it's the ships. It's the giant forms, it's the giant ship deck. So that's like a side ship, and that someone's just got into that, and now it's now coasting off. Or whoever. Sorry. If you get upset at that, then you've got a bit of an ego problem. And if you've got a bit of an ego problem, then you're no ruler of mine. I wouldn't even let my own ego rule me, you know? So why the fuck would I want to let someone else's egomania rule me, you know? It wouldn't make sense. I don't know what I get from them. I'm not sure. Because there's no way of really being able to make a worthwhile judgment about that, because I've never met them directly. They're up there. But I know that they're conscious of us. And I know that they're there right now. I can see them moving. I can see them tilting their head from side to side. You know, well, side to side. They're slower. It's much slower movement because they're bigger. They're at a slightly different scale. They're slightly etheric. There's a sense of, you know, they're interesting. Well, anyway, what a gigantic Anunnaki pyramid throne ship. What business it has here, I couldn't possibly know. Fake plane plus its fake shadow. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't a plane. But even if it was, I mean, these people are literally flying through an etheric being. Oh, right. You're playing around with my shit now, are you? Well, that won't do. I thought you wanted some publicity. I thought you were all up in our faces with this ancient alien stuff. Come on, what's it to be? You want us to look at you or you don't. So show yourselves, have the balls and show yourselves. Seriously. Have the balls to show yourselves to people. You know how long it took me to be able to get this far? And the intensity? Oh look, here we go, they are showing me. Okay. Oh, it's not just me though, is it? It's not me that needs to be showing these things now, it's everybody else. Look at that. I mean, if you can't tell just by looking at that there is some kind of structure or something there. You see, the thing is, I've already known the power of delusion because I saw a UFO once. A UFO in the classic sense of the word, you know, a zigzagging light across the sky, which would defy physics. And it just so happened to be in the company of two random human beings that I had witnessed it with, and I saw the how the cognitive dissonance worked, how it was with these people, and they literally denied it got to the point where they even denied that they even saw anything in the first place. That's how bad it was. They were so unsure as to what it was they'd seen, even though it was very clearly obvious they knew what they had seen. They couldn't accept it. They couldn't get it through their minds. They didn't want to get it through their minds. And thinking about that kind of attitude, that kind of perspective on things, well, why the fuck would these beings want to show themselves, I suppose? Why the fuck would they want to show themselves to people who don't even want to think about it, let alone admit it? I'm not sure what I think about this soya milk. The procession in the sky. Guys, I welcome you to us. I trust that you are well-meaning. We'll wait and see, shall we? Anyway, I bowed my head to you once before. Respect, kindness. You upset me. But look at that. Look at the way that line is bending round. What is that about? What is that about? That doesn't make sense either. Oh, now they're rubbing it out. Now it's dissipating. Okay, fine. That was kind of a poor job, to be quite honest. You need to do a little bit better than that. It's a giant hole. Watch very carefully. So this is like a docking thing that's coming up now. I might even stop moving at one point. Look at that. You can see there, very obvious line right there, in a smack bang in the middle, near the top bit. The thing about I've noticed about this cloud watching arc is that you have to get used to the subtleties of it. It's all well and good looking for faces in the clouds, but it's not the same thing as what I am doing. Faces in the clouds. I mean, yes, you get faces in the clouds, and then you get faces in the clouds. You know, two different types of things. One is a pareidolia thing, and the other one is a real fucking face in the clouds. So, and I think we've all experienced both of those things. So, yeah, if you, I think it begins with faces in the clouds, and then that's when you begin to start seeing the details, and the more subtle aspects of it. Like, that sometimes those faces that you're seeing are actually generated illusions to throw you off the focus of where you should be really focusing. Trying to throw your focus off. When I say your focus, I mean the literal focus of your eyes off. Clever bastards, aren't they? Well, I take back the bastards bit, but you know what I mean. Now, are these guys responsible for what's been going on? I don't know. Looks like they went on a tour down to East London. Something what? Something what? I mean, if that does look like some kind of space pod or vehicle or some description, I don't know what does. Well, that isn't live. Okay, so maybe I'll try and edit the video out of the highlight at some point. Okay, create a highlight. I'm going to mute myself for a bit so I can do that. And then I'll be back.
about the drawing? About the drawing.